So I'm just sitting here in traffic, and found myself like kind of exploring some thoughts and feelings and messages that were coming to me. And I noticed like kind of this, just like a discomfort and a little bit of anxiety maybe. I started doing like a, body scan awareness type, where I put my attention into different parts of my body and like just notice. And usually when I do that, I try to say at least thank you or I love you to that part. Like, thank you for all you do for me. Like, how often do we do that, right? And as I was doing it, I got to like my knees, and like I could feel like this feeling like building as I was going up, and like I got to my knees and I just kind of started crying. So I went inside and asked the sad part of myself, like what it wants me to know. And just kind of like, I see you're crying, I see you sad, I'm here. What is it that you want me to know? And I felt like the little girl inside me was saying, like it came very clear in my mind, I don't feel safe. And the next thought was, help me understand this. And then she kind of replied with, when you're running around and it's busy and you're crazy and stuff, like not crazy, but stressed, it doesn't feel safe. And I was like, whoa, because like I haven't had any me time since let's see, for like 4 days, maybe 4 days. When my girls get home from their dad's house, I had them Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days. And like, I need that. I make it through the weekends, doing the best that I can. Sometimes if I steal a little bit of time in the morning before they wake up and I can get grounded, then, great. And I show up way better parent. And I always have the intention, but like, that's hard to do all the time. And I didn't the last couple days. And so I've just kind of been running around kind of like surviving. And my default mode is kind of that energy of like, stay busy, do stuff, like all the things. So I noticed since I'm not doing my self-care, which when I drop them off at school on Monday morning, I'm like, oh God, thank you. I love my kids to death. I do. I love them. And I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world. But I also need that time. I grew up in a huge family, was very chaotic, never had time to do what I wanted to do, what I needed to do for myself. And like, it was never quiet. It was never calm. So I need that. That's part of my self-care, is like meditation, yoga, like spending time in nature, just doing nothing, just being. Because our accomplishments were like everything when we were kids, like, what have you done today? You can't just like sit around and do nothing, like just wasn't allowed. So it's part of my self-care and taking care of myself is to like just be, and meditation and everything. So I snuck a 10-minute meditation in at work when I got to work. I got a babysitter for part of the day, and so I could get some work done, but it was kind of chaotic at work, and it just was stressful. So I snuck in a 10-minute meditation, but it wasn't enough. It's at work, so it's just different energy than when I can do it on my own, in a safe space and whatever. So I understood what she was saying. I get it. When my energy is chaotic and stressful and anxious and overwhelmed and all the things, it doesn't feel safe. And I understand why. When I was growing up, it did not feel safe. That energy was never safe. Chaos wasn't safe. If people were stressed, I'd probably get my ass beat, you know, with specific people, obviously. And so it's important for me to be aware of that, and the energy that I'm living my life in, like what my default mode, emotion, and like energetic stance is. It matters. And if I'm not attuned to that and paying attention, then I'll run around here like a little chicken with my head cut off at the speed of life that we have, you know, as a single mom working full time, and you know, all the things that I have on my plate, all the balls that I have juggling in the air. You know, finding balance is tough. Like, I'm glad I got some play in there, and I also really need like that quiet downtime too. And it's really hard when there's no one to say, hey, take the kids for like 15 minutes. I just need some me time. I need to go out in nature, go for a little walk, meditate, whatever. I just need 15, maybe 20 minutes. God, what I wouldn't give some days for that. And so when I don't have that, I need to find other ways to like sneak stuff in, you know. I did do my little like quiet on the toilet time or like pretending I'm in the, you know, like I gotta pee or something. But it's like, you know, 2 minutes, and I know that they're gonna, you know, maybe 5 minutes. I don't know. But like it isn't the same, right? So it just was interesting how clear the messaging was when I asked the questions, and how much that matters. So my goal is to kind of just become more aware of the energy with which I'm living life moment by moment, which is like, shit, like tough, right? To be aware, because your brain's always doing stuff like planning the next thing, changing lanes, you know, just stuff, right? And so I need to make it a point to do more check-ins with my body and like the energy with which I'm living life. The emotional state. Is it chaos? Is it fear? Is it anxiety? Or am I calm? Am I peaceful? Because peace and calm feel safe. That's what feels safe to my little girl. So that's the goal. That's where I want to hang my hat more often than not. And the more I practice it, returning back, anytime I notice that I'm not there, the more I can make that, you know, pathway in my mind and my body and my soul, everything like more my default. So there's a little like Joe Dispenza stuff in there, you know, and all that. But like the nerves that fire together wire together. So the more attention I put onto the thing, the more I'm creating those pathways. So if I can give it more of my attention, notice it more, and reroute, reframe, you know, return, reground, whatever I need to do as often as I can, that's going to create the best outcome and change my trajectory. And the little 1% that I do today and tomorrow and the next day and whatever, like it's going to have massive effects if I can keep it up down the road. So that's the goal. I can do this.